Hey everyone, welcome to the show. I have just when they say bombshell or explosive news, this is what it should apply to. Okay, this is not being hyperbolic when I say I have explosive news for you today. So, if you haven't heard, the DOJ released 3 million Epstein documents today. They did this massive dump, as Donald Trump would say, a big dump. They took a big dump. um, I don't mean to make light of this because it is serious and there's some really scathing stuff in here about Donald Trump. But Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche came out and he said that they were releasing more than 3 million pages and not the 6 million pages that they collected. So there's some question as to what's going on with those 3 million extra pages that you're not going to release. Like, are you hiding them? Are you ever going to release them? So I don't know. We don't know at this point. But what we do know is that Donald Trump's regime has been caught trying to hide documents accusing him of things like, I'm going to say grape because I don't want to get censored, forcing children to perform acts on him, and you know what I mean, and even being an accomplice to murder. So this was all in these documents. These were tips that were called into the FBI. And so these reports were cataloged on a spreadsheet. These were, I assume, the spreadsheets that they were keeping that we heard about last year, where they were documenting who was in them, if any, known figures were mentioned and so forth. Well, the DOJ pushed this stuff out. They did this major dump today. And then when it was real, when people realized, oh my God, this stuff about Donald Trump is in here, all of a sudden the DOJ pulled it down off their site. Just these documents, not everything, just these documents. Now, luckily, someone on Twitter saved screenshots of these. And so I have them for you. This person posted them on Twitter. I downloaded them. So I'm going to read these to you. I'm going to go through and show you them, read them to you. I also have an email from Melania Trump to Ghislaine Maxwell, just, fawning over each other. And then there are also emails about and from Elon Musk practically begging to go to Epstein's Island. And then there's email correspondence between Trump Humper and Cabinet Secretary Howard Lutnick and Epstein's assistant, where he's discussing plans for lunch on Epstein's Island. And it very much looks like he did go. So is that the reason that, is all of this the reason why Donald Trump has been just desperate to keep this all buried? Seems like it, right? So first up, I have this one. So this came from this spreadsheet. It says, quote, reported an unidentified female friend who was forced to perform oral sex on President Trump approximately 35 years ago in New Jersey. The friend told Alexis that she was approximately 13 to 14 years old when this occurred, and the friend allegedly bit President Trump while performing oral sex. The friend was allegedly hit in the face after she laughed about biting President Trump. The friend said she was also abused by Epstein. So, is this the same 13 to 14-year-old girl that we have been talking about for years, the one who has gone by the alias of Katie Johnson? Or is this another one? This is insane. This is insane that this is our sitting president of our country. The next one comes from this spreadsheet as well. It says blank reported she has a friend blank who was a personal assistant to Epstein in Florida from 1986 until 1991 or 1992. This friend shared names of some of the guests at Epstein's parties to include Bill Clinton and Donald Trump. Okay. Next up from the spreadsheet. At age 16, while modeling, Collar attended 8 parties at Epstein's New York residence. On one occasion, Collar reported she was sexually assaulted by Epstein. On another occasion, 2 twin brothers, Alan and Orrin, lured Collar and her friend upstairs, but they escaped back downstairs. Now, I believe the Alan and Orrin that they're referring to are men who are on trial right now or who just had a trial and were accused of assault. So anyway, it goes on to say, Collar stated Orrin raped her best friend and a third brother, Tal, raped a 14-year-old girl named Blank. Collar named other individuals involved in quote unquote big orgy parties with her, other young girls, and older Victoria's Secrets models, including Bill Clinton and Donald Trump. Again, this is our president, and this is a former president that the Democratic Party just can't seem to cut ties with, that they keep inviting to all of their events. This is beyond heinous. Next up, this one says, online complainant reported she was a victim and witness to a sex trafficking ring at the Trump golf course in Rancho Palos Verdes. Between 1995 and 1996. Complainant reported Ghislaine Maxwell as the madam and broker for sex parties, clients of whom included Epstein, Robin Leach, and Donald Trump. Complainant reported participating in orgies and that some girls went missing, rumored to have been murdered and buried at the facility. Complainant reported being threatened by Trump, then head of security, that if she ever talked of what went on there or who she saw, he would, quote, end up as fertilizer for the back 9 holes like the other C words. They obviously used the word. This is astonishing. And it also kind of verifies what we've heard from Katie Johnson. Katie Johnson's allegations in her court filing against Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein was that there was another girl, another young girl, 12, 13 years old, allegedly, who was also assaulted by Trump and Epstein, who vanished, who disappeared, and that they would use her name was Maria, from what this Katie Johnson says, that they allegedly disappeared Maria, and that if you don't do what we want, or if you tell anyone, we will make you disappear like Maria. This is just mind-blowing. Next from this spreadsheet is this. Complainant claims to have video of high-profile sex parties, dealings with cartels, and having witnessed Robin Leach strangle a young girl to death at a party. Again, these are allegations that were called into the FBI. We don't know if these were ever investigated. We don't know what they did with this information. And for people who don't know who Robin Leach is or don't remember, he was the guy, I think he was British or something, but he used to do the show of, the rich and famous, where he would take you to their properties and show you around and, brag about all the things that they have that we don't. But anyway, next from the spreadsheet is this. Claims he was contacted by a female victim of Epstein's who wants to publish a book. Complainant provided background for himself, such as working with prominent figures such as Leslie Wexner and Epstein, being pardoned by a U.S. president, among several other pieces of information. The victim reportedly knew about criminal activity that occurred in multiple states and on airplanes, and told complainant there were films of prominent men such as Epstein, Bill Clinton, and Donald Trump, and that Ghislaine Maxwell is in the videos as well. Next from the spreadsheet. Donald Trump, the president, had parties at Mar-a-Lago called quote unquote calendar girls. Jeffrey Epstein would bring the children in and Trump would auction them off. He measured the children's vulva and vaginas by entering a finger and rated the children on tightness. The guests were elder men and included Elon Musk. Don Jr. Trump, Ivanka Trump, and Eric Trump were there. Attorney Alan Dershowitz was also there with attorney Bob Shapiro. We were taken in rooms, forced to give oral sex to Donald J. Trump, forced to allow them to penetrate us. I was 13 years old when Donald J. Trump raped me. Ghislaine Maxwell was also present. I mean, are all of these people lying? Is that what they're going to say? All of these people, this is all made up. All of this. Next from the spreadsheet. Complainant following up after a call with NYPD officer regarding her previous tip, reporting that she was forced to perform sex acts when she was 13 years old and pregnant in 1984. Complainant also reported there were high-profile individuals involved in her sex trafficking and the murder and disposal of her newborn daughter. Complainant reported Donald Trump participated regularly in paying money to force her to perform sex acts with him and alleged Trump was present when her uncle murdered her newborn. I mean, I don't know, guys. This seems, all of these seem very specific, right? It seems like, how could you fake this much, or how can you make up this much when, again, these are multiple allegations. This is not like, oh, you know, it's one person, one random person here or there. This is a lot of allegations. And we are to believe, apparently, that this is all fake, that every single one of these, there is no validity to it. And as you're going to hear in the upcoming, and I'm going to show you these emails that were shared or that were downloaded, I guess, a lot of these men were communicating, or at least, you know, so far what we're seeing, Lutnick, you know, Melania, Elon, like none of these people had any, you know, some of them had power of their own. They were already well-known figures. Why do they feel the need to participate with this man, to be involved with this man in any way, shape, or form, right? And some of them, as you're going to see, had communication with him or were asking to go to his island after he had been arrested in 2008 for allegedly, you know, raping children. So just absolutely disgusting. Next up from this spreadsheet is this. Caller was taken by boat to Epstein's island. Caller said it was complicated and involved Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. Caller became a school counselor and had a meeting with the school principal, Linda Kitts, I guess that's the school principal, and a police officer, where the caller was informed there were pictures of herself with Epstein. Caller reported the school was mad at her for not being a Trump person, and that the school wanted her to testify and say things against Andrew Cuomo. The FBI and Donald Trump were on the phone during the meeting, caller believes. The FBI has, or they were on the phone during the meeting, period. Caller believes the FBI has baby pictures of her with Epstein. What the actual fuck? Like, you're a teacher and the school is pissed off at you that you're not a Trump supporter, and then they have him on the phone while you're being berated by these people and told that you need to come out and say nasty things, make allegations against Andrew Cuomo. Like, this is so bizarre. The next one from the spreadsheet is this. Caller reported that in 1987, a friend, victim one, was out drinking and ended up at Trump Plaza. Victim one saw Donald Trump and wanted to meet him. An unknown man approached her and offered to introduce her to Trump. The unknown man gave victim one a drink, and victim one woke up naked and sore with $300 on the bed. Victim one didn't remember how she got to the room. She remembered seeing a flash of Trump's face. Victim one called the caller and told her, meaning the person who's reporting this, and told her that she thought she had been raped. Victim one did not go to a hospital to have a rape kit performed because she didn't think anyone would believe her, especially because she was drunk. Victim one's husband's business had problems with suppliers, and victim one believed Trump was behind it. Victim one also started dating a lawyer, identifiers unknown, who was married. Victim one had a fight with her lawyer boyfriend and went to a bar. Victim one left a bar with a man who no one in the bar recognized, but who seemed familiar with victim one. Victim one was never seen again. A few years ago, remains were discovered that matched the description of what victim one was wearing when she went missing. DNA tests at the time were inconclusive. I mean, understand what we're talking about here, guys. This just is beyond anything that we could have imagined. This is QAnon level stuff. This is the kind of stuff that QAnon talked about, but made it out like it was all Democrats doing this. Killing babies, assaulting children. I mean, this is absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. And then next up, like I said, I have the Epstein emails between Elon Musk, Elon's brother in one of them. Some of them were from Epstein's assistant. So, for example, here is one going back and forth between Elon and Epstein. And you can see the date on here, I hope. It's December 13th, 2013. And Elon messages Epstein and says that he's going to be in St. Bart's. He's going to be in the Virgin Islands over the holidays. And is there a good time to visit? And then Epstein replies to him and says, any day between the 1st and the 8th, we'll play it by ear, blah, blah. Always eager for you. Or, excuse me, always space for you. And then there's another correspondence on December 25th that says the 2 or 3 would be perfect. I will come get you. So he's saying like the 2nd or 3rd of January would be perfect. Same day, Elon messages him back and says, I need to fly back to LA on the night of the 2nd. So, and then it just trails off. So W. And then Elon sends again and says, actually, this was on December 25th as well. Actually, I could fly back early on the 3rd. We will be in St. Bart's. When should we head to your island on the 2nd? So this is a man who, threw Trump under the bus and said, oh, big surprise, big shock coming. Trump is in the files. I mean, yeah, no wonder he backtracked. No wonder Elon Musk went and made nice with Trump, because Trump probably said, yeah, you're in the files too, fucker. You want to play this game? Then there's this message. This is to, I guess, Jeffrey Epstein, I'm assuming, from or his assistant, communicating with Elon Musk's brother, Kimball. And it's October of 2012. So again, after Epstein went to prison, quote unquote, for his, day trip to prison, and it says, can J.E., Jeffrey Epstein, do coffee with Kimball Musk at 10 a.m. on Friday, October 5th? So these people are, gladly hanging out with this guy, friends with him. This is another one. This was from Epstein's assistant, Leslie Groff, reminding Epstein that Elon was asking about coming to the island. So this was December 31st of 2013. So this was after they had been communicating, after the other emails that I had just shared with you. Then we come to Melania Trump. This is what she said to Ghislaine Maxwell. They were good buddies, it sounds like. Dear G, how are you? Nice story about J.E. in the New York Mag. You look great on the picture. I'll read it like her. I know you are very busy flying all over the world. How was Palm Beach? I cannot wait to go down. Give me a call when you are back in New York. Have a great time. Love, Melania. Yeah. I mean, just absolutely disgusting that they're, and I will say this was before he was arrested, so this was 2002, but still, everybody freaking knew. Everybody in those circles knew what was going on with this pedophile. Here is another one. So the sender and receiver are blocked out, but again, this was talking about trying to organize the Elon Musk trip to Epstein Island. And then here's Howard Lutnick. Okay, so the New York Times reported this, that apparently in December 2012, so again, after everybody knew that Epstein had been arrested and had, spent 13 months in a work release program for having sex with underage girls, Howard Lutnick apparently went to Epstein Island. Now, here's the thing. Lutnick is denying this. New York Times reached out to him. They said, did you go? He said, no, I've never spent time with him. He hung up the phone on them. Here's the thing, though. There is an email in this batch of documents they just released showing that Epstein's assistant sent a follow-up email after the date that they planned to meet, after the date that he planned to go to the island. And one of Epstein's assistants sent Lutnick a message saying, hey, Jeffrey told me to say, nice seeing you. So did he go to the island or did they see each other somewhere else? Because according to Lutnick, they didn't spend time with each other anywhere. Right? Lutnick, his story was, if you recall, this was, I think, a few months back, he said that because he was a neighbor of Epstein's at this time, he went over, Epstein invited him over to see the house. He goes over with his wife, and that he was completely freaked out, creeped out by everything. Epstein offers him a massage. He's got the massage table set up in the middle of the room, and that he basically, he and his wife just left and never went back and wanted nothing to do with him because he was so creepy. Everybody's lying, apparently, right? The emails are lying. The victims are lying. Like, how much do we have to see and hear? More importantly, how much do Donald Trump voters need to see and hear before they realize that where there is smoke, where you see plumes of smoke coming up from miles around, there's a fucking fire. You cannot tell me that there's all of this, all of these accusations, all of these people hanging out with this guy, all of these wealthy people going to his island, and none of them did anything wrong. Are you freaking kidding me? And why are you begging to go to the island of a guy who had already been arrested and put in prison for 13 months for raping children, for having sex, paying children for sex. This is so disturbing. Like it's just on another level. Anyway, oh, I just saw something, by the way, that popped up on my screen, guys. I get news alerts. Trump's new Fed chair pick, named in Epstein files, just hours after his nomination. Let me see. I don't know if I can bring this up for you guys. Not sure. I've never used the screen share before. So let me see if I can get this. Let me grab this for you guys. This is like, real-time reporting. Now you're seeing behind the scenes what I do for hours on end. Just grabbing screenshots and reading stories and putting together details for you guys. So let me bring this up so you can see the article yourself. Okay. So there you go. New Fed chair pick, Kevin Warsh, named in Epstein files. So I don't know. I'm going to read the details here. Bear with me. So it says, barely a few hours after President Donald Trump named him as the next nominee to chair the Federal Reserve, Kevin Warsh was revealed to be in the Jeffrey Epstein sex trafficking case files. According to the New Republic, Warsh's name appears to be on an emailed list of guests to St. Barth's Christmas 2010, among others such as Russian oligarch Roman Abramovich and disgraced director Brett Ratner. Oh, is that the Brett Ratner who just did Melania's documentary? It says Warsh also appears on a list of people attending a dinner hosted by British aristocrat William Astor. So, yeah, I mean, all of these people, is this why Donald Trump nominated him? Like, does he know something that we should know? And Donald Trump's trying to keep him quiet? I don't know. I mean, we have to ask because, nobody's telling us the truth. This has all been just a giant ass cover up. Anyway, all right, guys, when I hear more, I will let you know. I'm sure there will be plenty more by Monday. All right, thank you all so much for watching and listening. Please like, please share, and subscribe. Please donate if you can. Love you all. Oh, and guys, please do me a huge favor. Share this widely, and if you can donate, I really appreciate it because this video will be demonetized because of the subject matter, because it's Epstein and some of the words that I used and the emails that I read to you and the, details of the allegations that I read to you. This video will get demonetized. So I just, if I had money coming out of my ears, if I was independently wealthy or, had a bunch of deals going on in the back end, I would, I wouldn't care. But yeah, this kind of information needs to be reported. So anything you can do to help out, truly appreciate it. All right. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.